Hi, Don Shaver here, physical therapist and owner of Iron City Physical Therapy in Poughkeepsie, New York. So today's video is going to be going out to you guys who are spending a lot more time sitting at a desk over these past few months. You might start to notice some aches and pains creep up, especially the neck, the back, and through the hips a little bit. So what I wanted to give to all of you is just a short 10-15 minute video that's going to delve into a few stretches that you can do to help alleviate some of those pains. And also importantly, we're going to go into some posture for that time that you are spending at your desk there. So obviously, if you have a standing desk, that's going to be your best option, but we'll also go through that seated position there as well. Before we get started, I wanted to thank Matt Ivins over at Marist College. Matt's the one that decided to put all this together. He works over there for the Marist Fund. So any of my Red Fox alumni, if you do have a chance to contribute to the Marist Fund, that's super important. That goes out to support all those great things that we enjoyed at Marist. And if you haven't been over there to the campus lately, you should go check it out because they've been doing a lot of great things. So most of us aren't going to have a standing desk. So let's go through that seated position. So there's going to be two good seated positions that we can use. Our first one, what we're going to do is shift our weight towards the front of the chair. You should feel that weight down through your sit bones, but we also want to feel that weight through our feet. So our feet are flat. They're taking some of our weight. That's going to help give more support to our low back. We're going to make sure that our shoulders are not rounded and our head's not forward. All too often, people will be at the computer, the shoulders come forward, the head, to compensate, because we don't want to be just looking down at the ground, is going to kind of come back and forward. And we're in this position here, putting the back of our neck in a compromised position, putting increased stress to the front of our shoulder and through our low back. So what we're going to do is roll the shoulders back, sit up tall, think about a neutral spinal position. And if we need to get forward to reach that keyboard, what we're going to do is hinge from the hips. So here I'm bending through my hips. My back is remaining relatively straight. My arms, if they're resting on that keyboard, should be somewhere around a 90-degree angle. So I don't want that keyboard down here. I also don't want it up here. Somewhere around 90 degrees would be a good working position. Now I know maintaining this position all day is unrealistic, so take standing breaks. We also have another seated position that we can use. So for that one, we're going to go back all the way against the backing of the chair. As long as that's not reclined back too far, that backing should be straight up or reclined to about 10 degrees if it's adjustable. And again, same position there through the elbows. If the height of your chair is adjustable, you would want to raise that up so that your hips are above your knee. This chair here is fixed, so I can't do that. But where I would want to be ideally is about here. So slightly higher. I could maybe add a cushion under this chair. If I was sitting here more than 5 minutes, that's what I would do. So we touched on the fact that the neck is going to be one of those hot spots when we're sitting all day. So two muscles in particular, upper trap and our levator scap, which run along from the back of our neck into our shoulder blade. So a great way to start stretching that upper trap, where we take our hand, we're going to hook that underneath the chair. What that's doing is anchoring your shoulder down so that it's not raising up during the stretch. We're going to pull our ear down and away towards the opposite shoulder. And you should feel that stretch from the neck into the shoulder. So we're just going to hold that there. You don't want to push to the point that this is painful. It should just be a mild stretch. And let's ease up out of that position. The next one, the levator scap, we're going to add in a little bit of a rotation. So now I'm going to rotate and I'm looking down and away. Again, applying a mild pressure with the other arm. Let's ease out of that. We're going to now switch sides. So our other hand hooking underneath the chair, pulling the ear straight down towards the shoulder and holding here. Coming back up, and again, rotating down and away. jump back to the other side. So each of these stretches, we're gonna go through 2 times on each side. And back to the rotation. Left hand under the chair, right ear down towards the right shoulder. You want to make sure your head's not jutting forward during the stretch. So if you have to, come back up and reset. You can tuck the chin back and go into the stretch. And last one, rotating down and away. As you exhale, you're trying to sink further into that stretch. And relax. For this next exercise, we're gonna get down onto the ground, hands and knees position. This one's called the cat-cow. So we're gonna address our neck and our back here. So what we're gonna do is raise the head up, let the back sink down, and alternate going out of that position. Now our back is rounding and our head is sinking down. So we're trying to generate as much movement that we can here through the spine. We're working to lubricate the spine and just keep everything nice and loose. If you're at the office and you're not able to go down onto the ground to do this exercise, you can do this seated in the chair. And let's continue with the back here. We're gonna go down onto our right side. We're gonna take our left knee, flex that up to about 90 degrees so my knee is at the same height as my hip. My hands are together, and what I'm gonna be doing is rotating back. If you need to, you can grab the knee to hold it in place. Attempting to get my arm down to the floor and coming back. So this exercise here, the open books, is going to help to loosen up the back, the neck, and the hips. And now switch onto the other side. Now our right knee flexed up to 90 degrees, and arms together, rotating back. Grab the knee if you need to. And let's stand on up. So the next thing we're gonna go into is a stretch for our hip flexors. So our hip flexor is gonna start in our low back. They wrap around to the front of our hip. So those are the muscles that are gonna raise our knee up. The reason we're working through those is if we think about sitting in a chair all day, my knees flexed up, that muscle is in a shortened position, so that muscle gets real short, it gets real tight. So we wanna lengthen that, we're gonna stretch that out. So we're gonna use a stretch called the warrior pose. We're gonna step 1 foot forward. We're gonna raise both arms up, extend the fingertips towards the ceiling. We're gonna go into a bit of a lunge. My back leg is straight, my front knee can bend. Again, lengthening those fingertips, driving the knees forward, and we are just holding here. If balance is an issue, you can grab onto something, not a big deal. And step back, switching feet, extending the fingertips, dropping into that lunge. Make sure that your back leg does not rotate, so I don't want my hips rotated back. I'm making sure those hips are rotated forward, they're even. And we're going through both sides twice here. So again, step back and switch legs. Fingertips up, focus on the breathing. Sinking further on the exhale. One last time on the other side. Good, and relax. So the last stretch that we're gonna go through is gonna address the front of the shoulders into the pec. So we talked about those shoulders rounding forward as you're sitting there, as you're typing on the keyboard. So what we wanna do is really open up the entire front there. So we're gonna grab both hands, we're gonna go into a door frame, or I'm on the rig here, but we're gonna put both hands up onto the door frame. Elbow is gonna be at about shoulder height. Step 1 foot forward. Keep the head up tall. We're not leading with the head. We're leading this stretch with the chest. And we're just holding there, holding about 30 seconds or so. Feel the pull through the front of the pec and the shoulder. Step out of that, shake it out for a second. Doesn't matter what leg we're stepping forward with here, it's the same stretch. And we're gonna go through that one more time. So with this routine here, you can go through this daily. It's not something that you're gonna overdo, but it's just a nice way to break up the day if you're spending all that time seated, to kind of loosen everything up. And shake it out.